What the heck am I saying?
You're killing it. You know the words.
I gotta figure out what they were playing. That's not even the one I'm talking about.
That wasn't even Jump Around.
One of me in the huddle, and I literally rapped Jump Around from start to finish on the verse.
Right, I didn't think that was House of Pain. This is starting the third quarter. You're on the bench.
Gosh dang it. I was spitting though. I mean,
So Drew Lock, you should check out the video online where you can actually hear the music synced up with it. We don't have the rights for it, so we can't give you the full experience of it. But this is who he's always had a little extra swagger to him. He's from Kansas City, went to the University of Missouri. There's another great video of a fan one time after he scored a touchdown throwing a water bottle at him on the field, and he picks it up and drinks it. He's always got a little extra edge to him. I like him a lot.
Yeah, he's a different type of dude, and the fact that he's played so well in his rookie year, got 4 wins, and already got John Elway pushing Joe Flacco out of the door, yeah, that's just another feather in his cap, the fact that he has an appreciation for young Jeezy. I feel like you can win with a quarterback like that.
If I'm on that bench and I look down and see my young quarterback doing that, I'm saying, perfect. That's the attitude that we need to have to win a football game. Congrats, Drew.
Keep putting on for your city, Drew Lock. We see you.
Joe Flacco's going to hate Gen Z more than any human being. First, Lamar kicks him out. Now Drew Lock's rap himself kicks him out. The Cowboys reportedly finally moving on from Jason Garrett after he was head coach for 9 seasons. Move comes 5 days after Dallas unable to get in the playoffs and after Garrett met with Steven and Jerry Jones multiple times. Now the Cowboys have a couple critical offseason decisions in front of them. Brian, I'll start with you. Which offseason decision do you find more important? Who the next head coach is going to be, or Dak Prescott's pending contract negotiations, which could end, in theory, with a franchise tag, a long-term extension, or I suppose with them letting him walk away?
I think it's the head coach, and I think it's clear. And because the head coach is going to set the agenda for the football team, he's going to be the face of the franchise. The other thing is that he's going to be the one picking the offensive coordinator, the quarterback coach that's going to be responsible for the next level of maturation for Dak's game. Here's the other part. There's a chance that this offensive coordinator and head coach that come in here and say, you know what, that doesn't fit what we want to do. He doesn't fit us as an offense. We need to go in a different direction. I remember when Andy Reid went to Kansas City, he brought in Alex Smith. He said, listen, we need to find a quarterback that's going to take care of the football, not make a bunch of mistakes. Then he said, I need a quarterback that's going to throw the ball down the field. I need someone that can take advantage of some of the things the defense may present. That's the same thing that may happen here in Dallas. Dak has played great in Dallas over these last couple of years, but the head coach may come in here and say, I don't think he fits my offense. I would be leery of that.
Real quick, let me follow up. Do you think Jerry Jones would hire a head coach that in the interview says, I'm not so sure on Dak? Well, or do you think it's a prerequisite to getting the job that you tell Jerry, I'm all in on the quarterback?
Well, Jerry Jones has already proven that he's not quite sure on Dak. He had an opportunity to give him a contract all season long, and he didn't give him that contract yet. And so there's some problems right there already where Jerry may be not sure about exactly what he wants to do with Dak himself.
The 2 most important employees on a football club, coach, quarterback. I'm not overly concerned with Dak Prescott and getting him a new deal because Dak Prescott has already shown he's willing to play on a 1-year deal in a contract situation. I understand that there's some positioning and there's going to be some lobbying back and forth. I feel like that will all get worked out. And, of course, you can always dangle the franchise tag over Dak's head. But I think you have to focus on the head coach because after the way that this season ended for this team, with having this much talent on this roster and having the guys underachieve in this fashion for a team everybody thought was going to have championship aspirations to not make the playoffs, I think you have to look at trying to find a head coach that can get the most out of the talent that you already have on the roster, the guys that Jerry Jones has already paid. That's why I would prioritize this head coaching search over getting a deal worked out with Dak, knowing that you have more time to figure out the contractual situation for Dak Prescott. I think the head coach is much more urgent just because other teams are going through the head coach search right now. And you have to give your head coach the opportunity to make sure he gives himself the best chance to have success, which means making sure that he has an opportunity to hire the assistants that he wants on his staff.
The urgency, obviously, I agree with you. Dak can wait. Dak already waited all year. You can hit him with the franchise tag eventually, and you can wait on that. To me, the more critical decision, though, is about the quarterback. Because no matter what coach you hire, if he is saddled with a good but not great quarterback who is making great quarterback money, you can't win that way. We haven't seen it happen. There are not instances of it where it is overpaid, overpriced quarterback leads team to Super Bowl. People say, oh, what about Joe Flacco? He did that before he got his deal. He was in this year version of Dak Prescott. Oh, I'll play it out. I'll bet on myself. And not only did he get his team to the playoffs, he had 11 touchdowns, no picks on that playoff run. And then he got the deal that for a half-decade crippled the Baltimore Ravens, an organization that otherwise over the last 25 years, ever since they've gone to Baltimore, has been one of the standout organizations in football. I don't know that all the quarterbacks who have come through Detroit have been, or all the coaches, pardon me, that have come through Detroit have been bad coaches. In fact, I think Jim Caldwell is a very good coach. But you know what? You had a good quarterback making great quarterback money, and it crippled you. So I think you can win in this league with great coaching, good coaching, or average coaching. I don't think you can win consistently with bad coaching. I think we all agree with that. But you cannot win in this league if you pay the 12th best quarterback in football the second most money in football. So if it's the franchise tag they're going to hit him with, then I would say the more important thing is the head coach. But if the decision you are weighing is, do we give him $36 million a year, I don't care how good Sean McVay is. They are not going to be able to win the next few years because of Jared Goff's contract. And Sean McVay is awesome. The Cowboys would love to have Sean McVay, and I think he's proven that. So I understand the reasoning for saying coach, because coach affects both sides of the ball. Coach sets the agenda, all these things. And people can say, well, Belichick's going to be able to win once Brady's gone. Probably. But one of the reasons he's been able to win the way he has is not only because of Brady's exceptional level of play up until this season, but because Brady wasn't, except for once in his career, the highest paid player in the league. I think the Cowboys are going to put themselves in a bit of a trick bag with Dak's upcoming contract.
The other thing that a coach is responsible for is getting the most out of your players. And that's one of the things that I think Jason Garrett failed at, getting the most out of his players. To be 8-8 with this roster of very good football players, that's disappointing. So when you talk about setting the agenda, that's one thing. That's trying to get the best out of Dak, that's another. But getting the best out of your football team, that's something that this coach has to find a way to be able to do. And he has to find a way to do it quickly, because the window for this football team is closing by the year.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that you also want to find out, because you don't want to have a question mark at the head coach. If you bring in somebody that's had a resume, somebody that's had success in the NFL, then you're looking at it and saying, okay, hopefully this guy can put us in the best position to take advantage of all the talent on the roster, but hopefully this guy can also help us answer the question of whether or not Dak Prescott is our guy long term. So I think that this is one of those situations where you look at the coach that they're going to bring in, and you would hope that this is somebody that can get the most out of number 4, especially if you're going to pay him top 5 quarterback money. But I think that Jerry Jones is still on the fence as to whether or not he wants to pay Dak Prescott. That's why I think the franchise tag this offseason is an interesting proposition. But Nick, I still lean toward the most important decision Jerry makes this offseason being the head coach, just because good players can't overcome bad coaching. I think that you have to look at the entire roster, not just Dak Prescott. That's why the head coach should be the priority.
I get that, and I'm not even saying necessarily I totally disagree, but my question would be, how many good players are you going to have to lose from your roster if you do give Dak $36 million a year?